Hello everyone, this is your friend Naruto Nexus 2.0 and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Katsumi refused to forget Deidara? Part 2. I used my speed to quickly catch up to Kakashi. He glanced back at me but said nothing. Naruto was further ahead of him, and I could feel his rage from my position. Deidara flew on his clay bird out of reach at all of us. He seemed to sense my presence, for I saw him look at me. Deidara released some of his clay bombs. They were mostly aimed at Kakashi, and he dodged them easily. Then one flew right at me, exploding near my face. It did not hurt me at all, but my mind was flooded with images of my past, reminding me of why I used to hate explosions. I froze on a tree branch, my eyes wide. Kakashi stopped beside me. "Are you alright?" he asked in concern. I'm fine," I said. "I just need a minute." "Are you sure?" I took in a shaky breath and nodded. "Yeah, I'm not hurt, and he didn't intend to hurt me. He can control exactly where his bombs go. He was just trying to scare me. Go and look after Naruto." Kakashi looked at me for a moment longer before nodding. "Stay here if you need to." And then he was off. I closed my eyes and breathed slowly. I gripped the tiny clay phoenix on my necklace, taking in Deidara's chakra. I remember the pain but also the lessons I learned from what I went through. Itachi and Deidara had helped me. I was no longer afraid. My eyes opened, and my determination returned. I leapt into action once again. This time, I continued until I was at pace with Naruto. He glanced at me but said nothing. Kakashi was just behind us. Deidara was not far away in front of us. I noticed his eyes narrow when he saw me. "Stay out of my business," Deidara growled. He sent more bombs in my direction. Naruto snarled in anger, but I did not even flinch when the bombs exploded harmlessly near me. "I'm not afraid of you, Deidara," I shouted. "And you know something else? You're terrible at acting like Itachi." Anger flashed in his eyes. "What did you say?" "It's a compliment, you know. Itachi drives me crazy with his hiding of his emotions and forcing decisions on others because he thinks it's best for them." I paused. "You can't hide your emotions like he can. You can't make them disappear. All you can do is attempt to bury them behind your anger, but I know the truth." "Shut up." I glared right back at him. "Stop trying to protect me by making my choices for me. It doesn't work for Itachi, and it won't work for you. I am doing no such thing. You mean nothing to me. Let me prove it to you." Deidara formed something with his clay spiders. "My tracking spiders will find your sensei." He released them, and they flew past Naruto and me. No. I looked behind me in time to see the explosions go off. "Kakashi-sensei!" Naruto cried. I waited for a moment, using my senses. I relaxed a moment later. "He's okay, Naruto. I feel his chakra." "What?" Deidara growled. I glared at him. Enough of this. I tried not to think too hard about what he was doing and how he was trying to hurt me. Besides, Naruto had enough anger for the both of us. Instead, I focused on my goal. "Just stop and listen to me." Deidara glowered at me. "I don't want to hear anything you have to say." Then he flew further away, leaving Naruto and me to follow. Several moments later, Kakashi was beside us. Naruto looked at him in relief. "You're alright," he said. Kakashi nodded. His eyes traveled to Deidara. "We need to stop him," he said in a low voice. Naruto's eyes flashed with his agreement. "We need to get Gaara back." "Let me talk to him first," I pleaded. "You've already tried to talk to him. He's not listening. But if I can get him to listen, I know I can change his mind. Just give me a little more time." "Alright," Kakashi said gently. "You may try." "But," Naruto started. I gave Kakashi a grateful look and then turned to Naruto. I could see his anger rising again. I placed a hand on his shoulder, passing along some calmness to him. "It's alright, Naruto. Just trust me." Naruto hesitated before relaxing a little. "Fine." I smiled at him before returning my attention to Deidara, my expression hardening. "I run faster until he is within hearing range again." "Deidara." Don't you know when to give up? Deidara said in annoyance. No, not until you stop playing this game. Something changed in Deidara's eyes. They softened just a bit before he covered the look with anger. I have to play this game, Katsumi, and so do you. Our only choice is to play our roles. You must fight for your side just as I must fight for mine. There is no difference between our sides. Both have their faults, so what difference does it make? Do what you're supposed to, and I'll do the same. Finally, I got something real out of him. We were getting closer to the core problem. He still had not admitted he cared about me, but I could sense it underneath his explanation. I took in a deep breath. Normally, that would be true, but my team is different. We hold higher standards than the villages as a whole. You know that I know more than most people how messed up the system is, but we want to work to change it on the inside. There are already signs of change in the Leaf Village. For a moment, it looked like Deidara wanted to believe me. Then his expression hardened again. Don't try to persuade me with your lies. I know that's impossible. Nothing will ever change. That's not how life works. But life is about change, Deidara. You are so close to the truth. You are right to say that everything is fleeting, but you must understand that that means everything is always changing. Nothing is constant, right? There is hope in that. We have the power to direct that change as we desire. We can use it to create a better world. Deidara's eyes softened once more. Then he shook his head before narrowing his eyes at me. You're naive, Why can't you just give up on me already? I gave him a pointed look. I can't give up on you because you are important to me, Deidara. Also, you and I are the same. Naruto also looked at me curiously, his anger fading. You want the same thing I want. You desire freedom. You want the opportunity to be yourself without limitations. You think you are better off with the Akatsuki, but you are still not free. Are you really better off than in a village if the Akatsuki requires you to betray your emotions and who you are? I took a deep breath. Join me, Deidara. I have the authority from my Hokage to ask you to join me. I will make sure you have a place with me in the Leaf Village. I will never let anything happen to you. We can be together. Deidara stared at me. It looked like he was almost going to break, but yet again, his expression hardened. We can be together, if I take you with me. You don't need the Leaf Village. I'll steal you away. No, Naruto shouted, enraged once again. Then he ran after Deidara, who chuckled and started to fly away. Kakashi and I were left to follow. I sighed as I watched Deidara. This was what he wanted, wasn't it? He was trying to entice Naruto. I had to stop him before something terrible happened. Naruto. I called after him. Calm down. What are you doing? I'm getting Gaara back. We need to stop and think, Kakashi said. We'll definitely get Gaara back, so calm down. We need to come up with a plan. This seemed to get to Naruto, as he slowed down to match out pace. Fine. What's the plan? Listen up, Naruto. You're not accustomed to that kind of enemy. Not only that, he's a long-range type, the worst match for someone like you, who specializes in close-range battle. There are only two ways to defeat this type of enemy. One is to draw the enemy into a close-range fight and defeat them. The other is to outdo the enemy with a long-range attack and defeat them. But how do we do that? No matter which method is taken, your unit needs either a comrade who specializes in long-range attacks or one who can use support ninjutsu for long-range battles. In the event of having neither, it's impossible to defeat the enemy. Well, it'd be different if you were as smart as Shikamaru, though. Naruto appeared irritated. Stop beating around the bush. If that's the case, then what about you, Kakashi-sensei? Quote. Kakashi looked at him calmly. Oh me, huh? Naruto nodded. A Jonin who's as smart as Shikamaru and possesses support ninjutsu for long-range battles. Then we've got what we need. That's why I told you to calm down. Quote. Then we should get right to it. It won't work out that easily. He won't leave himself open if we just chase him around. He infiltrated the hidden sand by himself and defeated Gaara. And most important, he's a member of the Akatsuki. Quote. Then what do we do? All we can do is create an opening from our end. You and me together. If you were able to catch on to what I said, then lend me an ear. I'll tell you the plan. Kakashi glanced at me. You should stay out of this, Katsumi. Hold on. I said, my heart racing. You need to give me one more chance to persuade Deidara. You've had enough chances, Naruto said with a low growl. It's time to do things our way. Quote. My eyes grew wide. No, I'm so close. I turned to Kakashi, looking at him with pleading eyes. I need to get close to him to talk to him privately. I know I can get through to him if I'm close enough to touch him. Quote. I saw the hesitation in Kakashi's eye. We could make that happen, but that would put you in grave danger. I shook my head. No, Deidara would never hurt me. You have to trust me on this. Please. Kakashi still appeared uncertain. I don't know. He won't hurt me. If he does, then I will not stop either of you from doing what it takes to bring him down. But if you don't let me try this one last time, I'll always wonder if I could have done something to change his mind. I need to know for sure if he's out of reach. If you don't let me have this chance, I may end up resenting you for it. This was not a threat but a warning. A plea even. I looked at Naruto, who appeared angry but willing to listen. You promised you would help me save Deidara. If I fail now, I'll let you out of that promise. You just have to support me now. Naruto's expression softened slightly. Fine. We'll do it your way one more time. Quote. Kakashi nodded. Alright. I will trust you, Katsumi. My plan will need to be altered slightly. Listen carefully. He quickly explained his plan, and I nodded along. That would work well enough. I noticed Deidara watching us, growing impatient. I hope you're ready. I called up to him. I won't let my teammates hold back. Let them do their worst. Deidara taunted. I moved aside into the trees to let Kakashi and Naruto take control. Deidara did not object to my actions, just as I predicted. He probably thought I was getting out of the way of the battle because I did not want to hurt him. He thought I had given up, which was just the way it needed to be for now. Naruto prepared his Rasengan. Deidara was able to evade the attack. While he was distracted, I leapt from the trees and landed on his clay bird right beside him. He turned to face me, his face wide with fear. What? He managed to get out. I realized I must look a little threatening to him, so I immediately relaxed. I am not here to hurt you, Deidara. I just want to talk. Deidara's expression hardened. What kind of trick is this? You know it's not a trick. I won't hurt you, and my teammates won't hurt you either. I frowned when I noticed something. From this close, I could see that he was missing his left arm. What happened? Deidara turned the left side of his body away from me. That's none of your business. I looked at him with sympathy. Gaara. Huh. Deidara continued to stare at me with a dark expression. How can you say that so casually? He was your friend, yeah. You should hate me. Quote. Should I? I knew that was the normal response to a situation like this, but that was not a path I wanted to take. I know what hatred does to a person. It harms their own life as well as the lives of those who care for them. It does nothing to solve anything. Besides, I love you too much to hate you. Love is stronger than hatred. Don't you remember? You helped me see that. You helped me overcome my past so I could have a better future. And now I will do the same for you. I took a step closer to him. Deidara's eyes grew wide, but he quickly put on his mask of anger. Stay away, or I will have to attack you. His threat did not faze me. I stepped closer. Fine, then attack me if that's what you want. I won't defend myself. Not even with a shield. I showed him my palms and moved my arms away from my body so I could not easily form one of my shields. I have always prioritized defending myself, but for you, I will lay all my defenses down. I am completely vulnerable. Deidara could not hide his shock this time. What do you want with me? I kept going until we were inches apart. I looked into his eyes with determination. I want you to tell me the truth. Tell me how you really feel about me. Deidara raised his shaking hand. Resolve seemed to come over his face as he gently caressed my cheek. I love you, he whispered. In his eyes, I saw the person I knew so well. He rested his forehead against mine, breathing deeply. I tried to wrap my arms around him, but he pulled away abruptly, clenching his fist near my face. Deidara, I said in confusion. I can't. Suddenly, a sucking sound caught both of our attention. Then I noticed a vortex right near Deidara, and it started sucking him in by his arm. Oh no, I cried. What is this jutsu? Deidara exclaimed. My arm's getting sucked into space. I immediately knew who was responsible. I looked down and saw Kakashi using his Mangekyo Sharingan. Stop. I shouted at him. You promised you wouldn't hurt him. So much for them giving me a chance, Deidara growled as he tried to pull his arm out. I swallowed hard. Kakashi showed no signs of stopping. He must have thought you were threatening him. Quote. That's exactly my point. Deidara gave me a hard look even as he struggled. Don't you get it? You may be able to convince your village to give me a chance, but the moment I do something that could be perceived as wrong, they'll throw me out. I can't go around walking on eggshells around everyone, not again. They'll never give me a real chance. My heart hammered in my chest. That's not true. We can change things. No, we can't. You want the truth. This is the truth. We can never be together. It is time for you to face reality. No. I moved directly in front of Kakashi's line of vision so he could not get at Deidara anymore. Kakashi immediately stopped the jutsu. Katsumi, he called. What are you doing? You promised. I shouted at him. I turned back to Deidara. You have to get out of here. Deidara nodded. You don't need to tell me twice. With a wince, I realized the vortex had been able to suck in his arm, but at least he was still able to steer high. Clay bird. He glanced back at me. You should get off. I shook my head. Not until you're safe. Deidara looked down. I think we lost them. Suddenly, Naruto and his shadow clones were all around us, ready to strike with his Rasengan. Naruto. No. Rasengan. Naruto shouted. Deidara and I managed to jump off the clay bird's back and land in the trees just as Naruto sliced its head off. All right. Shadow clone jutsu. I remained near Deidara as we leapt to the ground. Soon he was crouched behind the bushes, watching as Naruto clawed at the bird's head, trying to free Gaara. Stay here, I whispered. I carefully approached Naruto. Gaara. 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 Naruto looked over his shoulder as Kakashi approached from the other side. Kakashi-sensei, you alright? Yeah, somehow, Kakashi said. He looked at me. How about you, Katsumi? I'm fine, I said stiffly. Gaara, Naruto said, continuing to claw at the bird. I'll get you out now. My heart ached as I watched him free Gaara. He still did not understand, or he refused to accept the truth. Hey, Gaara, are you listening? He shook Gaara's body, trying to wake him up. Knock it off, Kakashi said. That's enough, Naruto. You should know. Naruto froze, his eyes wide with fear. I wanted to go to him but stood still. That's right. You know, don't you? He's been dead for a while. Naruto looked at Gaara anxiously. Gaara. Hey. Gaara. Gaara. I told you, didn't I? He's already dead. I flinched when I felt the anger flaring from Naruto. Before I could stop him, he leapt behind the bushes and glared at Deidara. I'll pound you, he shouted. Fine, Deidara said, slowly standing up. I'll take you on again one of these days. You let your guard down. Naruto suddenly pounced on him and started pummeling his face. Oh no, Naruto, stop, I shouted in horror. I ran at him full speed and tackled him to the ground, forcing him off of Deidara. I immediately got up and gave him a hard look. No, Naruto, it's over. You know revenge is not the answer. Quote. But I soon realized that reason was not likely to persuade him. His eyes had turned red, and the Nine Tails chakra was so strong I could almost see it. Out of my way, he snarled. I glared at him. Never. I won't let you hurt him. Then I'll have to make you move. Naruto ran at me, but I blocked him with one of my lightning shields. He slashed at the shield with long claws before turning and running for Deidara instead. I quickly got in his way again. This time, I did not have time to bring up a shield, and he managed to claw my face. I ignored the pain as I grabbed his hands and tried to push him back. He was stronger and forced me to the ground. Naruto, enough of this. I know you don't want to hurt me. But I saw no trace of my best friend as we rolled around on the ground together. Whatever effect I had on him before was not working. Finally, he managed to tear his hands from mine and pin me to the ground. I looked at him with wide eyes. What was I supposed to do now? I did not want to hurt him. Hey! Deidara shouted. Nine Tails, over here. Naruto lifted his head. A moment later, he jumped off me and ran away. I gasped as I scrambled to my feet. What are you doing? Deidara stood facing Naruto, staring defiantly at him while the other advanced. He'll kill you. Deidara gave me a serious look. I love you too much to watch you get hurt. Quote. For a moment, I was stunned. Next, I felt a rush of love for him. Finally, determination overcame me. I took the opportunity while Naruto was distracted to run at him from behind. I jumped on him and attached myself to him, wrapping my limbs around him. Naruto tried to scratch me, but I managed to grab hold of his wrists to stop him. Katsumi. Kakashi called, but I ignored him. Run, I shouted to a surprised Deidara. If you're not in sight, he might calm down. Quote. Deidara nodded. He looked at me anxiously before running off. Once he was out of sight, Naruto did seem to relax a bit. I jumped off his back and took several steps away from. Fortunately, he made no move to attack me. Then he saw Gaara's body again, and his anger magnified. Katsumi, get over here. Kakashi said in a commanding tone. This time, I ran right to him. I stopped beside him and watched Naruto with wide eyes. What's happening? The Nine Tails chakra was stronger than I had ever felt. It was a visible red that enveloped his body. And the chakra produced a red fox tail. Kakashi's eyes narrowed at the scene. Jiraiya warned me about this. It's Naruto's demon fox cloak. He is being taken over by the Nine Tails. He no longer recognizes friend from foe. I bit my lip in worry. As we watched, a second tail formed. What do we do? Kakashi held out a tag. You can get close to him, Katsumi. Put this tag on him, and it will suppress his chakra. He will return to normal. I reached out to take the tag but then stopped as I remembered recent events. What's wrong? I can't help but look at Kakashi suspiciously. Are you sure this won't hurt him? He appeared confused. Hurt him? Of course it won't hurt him. Why would you think that? You said you wouldn't hurt Deidara but you did. Quote. Kakashi sighed, and his expression softened. I'm sorry, Katsumi. I thought Deidara intended to hurt you, but I realize now I was wrong. I should have trusted you. I only acted like I did because I don't know Deidara. I do know Naruto, and I will do everything I can to protect. You know I will never hurt him. You can trust me on this. I stared into his eye for a moment before relaxing. Of course I trusted him. He made a mistake, that was all. Alright, I'll do it. I took the tag from him. Kakashi nodded. Be careful. Right. I took a deep breath and turned to face Naruto. My friend was moving around wildly in anger, his chakra gaining in power. I ran straight at him, and he immediately tried to attack me. I defected his move with a lightning shield. I darted to the side to try again. It took some maneuvering, but I finally managed to use my speed and my shield to get close enough to him to place the tag on his back. I immediately felt the Nine Tails chakra evaporate in the air. Slowly, Naruto returned to normal and collapsed on the ground. I took a cautious step towards him. He'll be fine in a minute, said Kakashi, now standing behind me. What happened? Naruto groaned, clutching his head. You lost yourself for a minute, I said. Naruto stood up and turned to face me. His eyes widened. What happened to your face, Katsumi? Who did that to you? Quote. I hesitated. I glanced at Kakashi, but he gave me no indication of what he wanted me to say. You did, Naruto. Naruto winced as guilt flashed across his face. I'm sorry. I must have been really out of it. Quote, it's alright. I'm the one who got in between you and Deidara. Naruto looked around. Where is Deidara? I frowned. Good question. I closed my eyes and focused on finding him. When I did, I realized he was not alone. My eyes flew open with a look of horror in them. Team Guy. I turned to Kakashi. Don't they know not to hurt them? Tsunade must have forgotten to mention that part, Kakashi said. My eyes narrowed. I immediately ran in the direction of the group. Where are you going? Naruto shouted after me. To save Deidara. I called back. I did not have to run far before I found them. Team Guy had cornered Deidara in front of his headless clay bird. Deidara moved his head as if he was going to do something, and then his eyes locked onto mine. Something in his face changed, and I understood what was going through his mind. He had a way to get out of this situation and save himself, but he would not do it because he did not want to injure me in he process. Resolve crossed my face. I raced towards Deidara as Neji stepped forward to strike. I stopped in front of Deidara and pulled up a lightning shield just in time. Neji's fist was knocked back, and he let out a grunt of surprise. Stop, I said in a commanding tone, glaring at Team Guy. I won't let you hurt Deidara. Team Guy recoiled in shock. What are you talking about, Katsumi? Neji said, eyes narrowed. He's defenseless. He can't use any jutsu. You have no reason to hurt him. No reason. Don't be ridiculous. He is a member of the Akatsuki, and we should take this chance to bring him down. I stood my ground. He's just trying to get away. He's not attacking you. No one will get hurt if you let him go. Neji looked at me like I was dumb. Stopping him now will save lives in the future. That's not necessarily true. What if he stops being the bad guy and becomes the good guy? If he redeems himself, he could end up saving more lives than he ever took. Neji stared at me incredulously before scoffing. That's not possible. My expression hardened. You don't think people can change? I think you would know better than that by now, Neji. He's a rogue ninja. He's still a human being, and I believe in him. I don't understand, Lee said suddenly, sounding confused. What about what he's done? What about Gaara? I took a deep breath and let it out slowly. That's exactly it, Lee. I can't lose two people in one day. Besides, don't you remember how Gaara was when we first met him? You didn't think he could ever change, did you? Quote. Lee appeared conflicted. No, but I did. I was the only one who believed Gaara could change, and I was right. I saw the good in him before anyone else. And if I was right about Gaara, how do you know I'm not right about Deidara? Quote. Lee looked down at this, seemingly having nothing to say. Katsumi, Guy said in a calm voice, why is this so important to you? I took a moment to decide how to respond to him. I met his eyes with a steady expression. Deidara is precious to me. Surprise lit Guy's face, and he said nothing more. That's enough, Guy, Kakashi said as he approached. Tsunade has given Katsumi the authority to decide what happens to this one. He nodded at Deidara. Guy immediately relaxed. Well, if it's coming from the Hokage. He nodded at Lee, Neji, and Tenten. Let's catch up with the others. The ninjas seemed hesitant, but they followed their leader in the direction Kakashi had come from. Kakashi looked at me. Katsumi, are you coming? I glanced at Deidara, who watched me with an unreadable expression, to Kakashi. Can I have a few minutes to say goodbye? Kakashi stared into my eyes for a moment. Finally, he dipped his head in acceptance. Very well. Do not take too long. Then he left, leaving me alone with Deidara. All the tension left my body as I turned to look at him with relief. I immediately embraced him, wrapping my arms around him. Ah, he said with slight surprise, I'm sorry I can't do the same for you. I pulled away from him and frowned as I took in his condition. That looks like a problem. Deidara smiled slightly. It's alright. It's nothing. Kakuzu won't be bail to take care of him. His expression turned serious. Listen, Katsumi, I'm sorry about all of this. I didn't know the one tail. I mean, Gaara, was important to you. Yeah, I know. His eyes narrowed. But Itachi knew. Why didn't he tell me? I thought about it for a moment. Maybe he was trying to protect you. You would have been in danger if you didn't go after Gaara, right? Quote. Deidara scoffed. I find that hard to believe. He paused, seeming to consider the idea. For your benefit, maybe. He sighed and shook his head. I should go. I nodded. I did not want him to leave, but I saw no other option at the moment. Listen, Deidara. I took a step closer to him. I'm going to find a way for us to be together, alright? I just need to work with the Leaf Village a bit more. I know they'll come around. Deidara's face darkened. I wouldn't count on it. Even your friends turned on me today. What hope is there for the rest of the village? You're better off forgetting about me. I shifted uncomfortably. Kakashi and Naruto's actions did concern me, but I understood why they acted that way and thought I could change their mind. In the future. I could never forget you, Deidara. I love you. Even if this is the end, I don't regret anything. Deidara's eyes softened, and he smiled at me. I don't regret anything either. I love you too, Katsumi. Quote. Our attention broke by the presence of Kiku, who appeared calm as she trotted up to us. Hey, Deidara, she said. She looked him over. What happened to you? It's not important. How are the others? I asked the cat. Kiku sat down. Sakura and Chio are fine. And what about Sasori? Kiku swished her tail. He's gone. I'm sorry to hear that, Deidara said softly, but it's no surprise. Oh, don't misunderstand. He's not dead. He's gone. He said he was done with everything and ran away. My eyes widened in surprise. What does that mean? Where did he go? Back to the hideout, Deidara suggested. Kiku shook her head. He left his robe and ring behind. It seems he had some sort of breakthrough. I think he wants a new life. Deidara's eyebrows furrowed in confusion. What kind of new life could he have? I smiled. Whatever it is, I wish him luck. Quote. Kiku nodded. Me too. Unbelievable, Deidara muttered. He let out a heavy sigh and then looked at me regretfully. I should go. My smile faded as I gazed at him. Yeah, I guess so. I did not want to just let him go, but I did not see how I could be of any more use to him now. I had to find another opportunity. Kiku, can you go with him and make sure he gets out of here safely? I'll be fine. Just humor me, please. Kiku. No problem, said the cat. She stood up and trotted over to Deidara, who sighed. Fine, I'll take the escort, he said. He gazed at me with a faint smile on his face. Goodbye, Katsumi. Goodbye, Deidara, I nearly whispered. Then we turned and went out separate ways. I found Chio, Team Kakashi, and Team Guy gathered around Gaara's body. With the situation with Deidara over, my focus settled on Gaara, and I felt a heavy weight settle in my chest. He was really gone. Katsumi, Sakura said with a gasp. You're all right. She stopped before me, eyes wide. What happened to your face? I had almost forgotten about the scratches on my face. Naruto looked away guiltily, while I shrugged off her concern. It doesn't matter. It's not bothering me. Sakura sighed. Let me help. I did not resist when she used my medical ninjutsu to heal my face. There. All better. Thanks. I assume Deidara is no longer an issue. Kakashi said. I nodded. He's gone. I took a deep breath and approached Gaara. I felt my heart wrench when I saw him. Now what are we going to do? Gaara was gone, and there was nothing I could do about it. I had been unable to protect my friend. I'm sorry, Gaara, I murmured as I stood over his body beside Naruto. Everyone exchanged sad looks. We were too late. He was gone. Sakura took a tentative step towards us. I'm sorry too. Naruto turned to her with tears in his yes. Sakura. Sakura. Why is it always Gaara? Did he have to die like this? He's the case cage. He just became the case cage. I felt a great pang in my chest when I saw the tears stream down his face. Calm down, Naruto Uzumaki, said Chio. Naruto glared at her. Shut up. This wouldn't have happened if you Sand Shinobi hadn't put a monster inside Gaara. Chio's eyes widened in shock, but she said nothing against this. Did you even ask Gaara at all about how he felt? Jinchuriki, my butt. You've no right to act so self-important by labeling us with that word you created. Naruto, Sakura said in concern. She reached a hand out to him, but he pushed her before kneeling beside Gaara. Discover more. Content creation tools. Mobile app development. Fan fiction books. Naruto was shaking now as he leaned over Gaara, and tears fell onto his body. I can't save Sasuke, and I can't save Gaara. I trained so hard for 3 years. Nothing's changed since 3 years ago. I took a tentative step towards him, unsure if he would push me away too. I couldn't save him either. I'm so sorry. He didn't deserve this. Quote, Naruto wiped his eyes and looked at me. You're the only one who understands, Katsumi. You knew about Gaara, didn't you? You never judged him because he was a Jinchuriki. You were his friend, like you were mine. Quote, I nodded. That's right. I understand. I knelt beside him and touched his shoulder to comfort him. Together, we mourned. Chio looked on with a pained expression on her face. Then she knelt down on the other side of Gaara. Naruto looked like he was about to protest, but I pushed him back by the shoulder and shook my head. It looked like she was going to try to perform some sort of jutsu on him. Sakura gasped. Granny Chio, that jutsu will. She stopped when Chio gave her a sad look, her hands hovering over Gaara. Granny Chio, everything I've done until now was wrong, Chio said softly. However, it looks like I'll finally be able to do something right at the end. The world of the sand and the leaf created by foolish old people is finished. I'm sure the future you build from here on out will be much different than ours. She looked from Sakura, to me, to Naruto. Granny Chio, said Kakashi, what are you trying to do? Medical ninjutsu? No, Sakura said. Her eyes fell on a dark spot on Chio's body. It looked like she had been poisoned. We did what we had to do. Now, if we don't hurry back to the village hidden in the sand and give you an antidote. More important than that, there is something that I still must do, said Chio. This is what Granny Chio was talking about, said Kakashi. Is that? Sakura nodded. Yeah. Hey, what are you doing? Naruto said in alarm when Chio placed her hands on Gaara's stomach. Sakura pulled him back so he could not interfere. Granny Chio, she's going to bring Gaara back to life. I gasped. What? Bring him back to life? Naruto said, eyes wide. Is such a thing really possible? Neji asked. This jutsu is a special jutsu that only Granny Chio possesses, Sakura said solemnly. Really? Naruto said in awe. There's no way that such an extraordinary jutsu could exist, said Neji. That chakra flow. It is accompanied by a considerable risk. Chio suddenly started grumbling in frustration. I don't have enough chakra. You can use my chakra. Naruto said. Chio looked at him in surprise. Would that be possible? She seemed to consider him for a long while. Then she nodded. Place your hand on top of mine. Naruto sat on the opposite side of Gaara and placed his hand on Gaara's. I felt his chakra flow into her and then into Gaara. I also felt something else. Hey, Sakura, I said softly. The cost of this jutsu, it's. Yeah, Sakura said sadly. She won't survive. Amidst this shinobi world created by us foolish old people, I am glad that a person like you showed up, Chio said to Naruto. The things I did in the past were nothing but mistakes, but in my last hour, it seems I shall finally be able to do the right thing. The village hidden in the sand and the village hidden in the leaves. The future is likely to be different from the way things were in our time. Your mysterious power that Kakashi spoke of. That power is likely to alter the future greatly when you become a Hokage like none before. Quote, I agree, I said quietly. Chio raised her head to look at me. You, Katsumi, you are of the same spirit. You are of a different mind than me, but perhaps you can make the change seek in the world. Keep the promise you made to Sasori. Prove that love is more powerful than hatred. I dipped my head in acknowledgement. Yes, I will. Chio turned to Sakura next. And you, Sakura, next time, help the person you cherish most, not an old lady with one foot in the grave. You are very much like me. There are not many women who have a man's courage. You will probably become a kunoichi who surpasses her master. Her gaze fell on Naruto once again. Naruto, this old lady has a favor to ask you. You are the one and only person who is capable of knowing the extent of Gaara's pain. And Gaara knows your pain, too. Please help Gaara. She pulled her hands away from Gaara and closed her eyes. Gaara, Naruto shouted. He gripped his shoulders and leaned over him. I knelt beside Naruto, placing a hand on Gaara as well. I could feel his chakra flowing again, and my heart skipped a beat. Gaara, can you hear us? Quote. After a long moment, Gaara opened his eyes. Naruto, Katsumi, he said, seeming surprised. I let out a breath of relief. You're all right. I gave him a gentle hug. Then Naruto and I helped him sit up. Gaara looked around with wide eyes. It was then I realized that all of the Sand Village's military had arrived and were crowded around us. Everyone came running to help you, Sakura said. Are you all right? The Sand Ninja all began cheering. Gaara seemed too overwhelmed to say anything else. Then Kankuro and Tamari stepped forward. Putting us to all this trouble. Tamari said in exasperation. Good grief. Quote. You're such a bothersome little brother, making us worry like that, Kankuro teased. What's with you guys acting arrogant like that? Said one of the Sand Ninja. Gaara is the cage, you know. Don't be so disrespectful. You're nothing but subordinates. Gaara, how do you feel? Sakura said gently. In response, Gaara started to stand up. You shouldn't try to get up so quickly. Your body hasn't completely healed. It's all right, I said. Naruto and I stood up with him and allowed him to lean on us. Thank you, Naruto, Kankuro said with a smile. You too, Katsumi. We didn't do much, I said. If you're going to say that, you should say it to the old lady, not us, said Naruto. She saved Gaara with an incredible medical ninjutsu. He glanced at Chio, who laid on her side. She got tired out, so she's sleeping now, but when the old lady gets back to the village, she'll get well again. Quote. Kankuro looked at Chio, and his smile fell. No, you're wrong. Granny Chio used that jutsu. Naruto looked at him in confusion. What do you mean I'm wrong? She wasn't just using medical ninjutsu. She used the reanimation ninjutsu. Granny Chio is dead. Naruto's eyes widened. Reanimation ninjutsu? What do you mean by that? It's a ninjutsu that allows you to bring a dead person back to life in exchange for your own. Quote. As I thought, Gai-sensei, Neji muttered. At one time, in the sand puppet unit, they were doing research to develop a jutsu that could bring puppets to life. Granny Chio headed up the project. They succeeded in developing the jutsu in theory, but midway, they decided that the risks were too great. Before it reached the stage of human experiments, it was designated as a forbidden jutsu, and it was sealed. Just like that. So, that's it, I murmured. Chio's brother stepped up and gazed at her. She looks as if she could start laughing at any minute. Her face looks so peaceful. She did the right thing. She may have made mistakes, but she righted them in the end. What she did was very noble. Quote. Kankuro nodded. Yes. I wonder what caused this change. Naruto inspired him. Me, said Naruto. Yes, Naruto, said Tamari. You are a mysterious one, after all. You have the power to change people. Granny Chio always used to say she didn't care about the village's future. She was not the kind of person to do such a thing for Gaara. Granny Chio entrusted the future to Gaara and you, said Kakashi. Katsumi is right. Hers was a magnificent end, befitting of a shinobi. Naruto nodded. Yeah, just like Gramps, the third. You're right, said Sakura, wiping tears from her eyes. Yeah, now, I can clearly understand the old lady's wish. Quote. Gaara gently pushed Naruto and me away, managing to stand on his own. He looked around at the ninja. Everyone, let us pray for Granny Chio. After the prayer, we headed back to the sand village. It was late at night by the time we returned. Still, there were lights guiding us to the gate. What looked like the entire village stood there waiting for us. Hey, what a lavish welcome, said Kankuro. Awesome, said Naruto. There are so many people. Quote, just as would be expected for the cage, said Tamari. Wow, I murmured. Everyone here has really changed. Not too long ago, they all feared Gaara. Now he was revered. I could not help but smile as I saw them all greet him. The scene filled me with hope. People could change. We could build a better future together. Just like Chio wanted. We entered the village together. Kakashi told the Leaf Ninja that we would leave in the morning. Instead of heading to my room, I approached Gaara. There was something I needed to get off my chest, and it could not wait. Gaara, I said with slight hesitation. I know it's late, but I would really like to talk to you about something. Quote. Gaara nodded. Of course. Come with me. No one dared say anything as he led me away. I was a little surprised when we walked into his room, but I realized that was probably the only place we could talk in private. It was a large room, and he motioned for me to sit on the couch beside him. Thank you, I said softly. I folded my hands in my lap and stared at them. I should thank you for helping me, Gaara said quietly. I shook my head. No, I didn't really do anything. Katsumi, what's wrong? I did not want to tell him, and yet, I knew I had to. Even though Tamari assured me he would understand, I needed to hear it from him myself or I would not be able to look at him again. Gaara, you know how I stayed with the Akatsuki for a while, right? Gaara's expression hardened. Yes. I am glad to see you are alright. I suddenly remembered that he probably hadn't known I had been rescued until today. I'm sorry for worrying you. No, it was not your fault. I'm sorry I couldn't do anything. He paused. Itachi Uchiha kidnapped you. His eyes flickered to the bracelet around my wrist. You bonded with him. Quote. I touched the bracelet that bore Itachi's name. Yeah, that wasn't what I wanted to talk to you about, but yeah. He actually wasn't up to anything nefarious. The Akatsuki thought it would be best for their plans if the portal to my world was closed permanently, so they wanted Itachi and I to Brea. It together. Gaara nodded, his eyes looking intently into mine. Did you? I lowered my gaze. How much should I tell him? No. We got close, but it didn't happen. I figured that was enough for now. I'm sorry. I gave him a small smile. Thanks. They didn't hurt you, did they? I shook my head. No. They needed me, so they left me alone. I paused. Some of them weren't so bad. Did you bond with any of the others? Quote. I stared at my lap. Yes. There were two others. One of them was Deidara, the blonde Akatsuki member who attacked you. I looked at Gaara but saw no condemnation in his eyes, so I continued. I'm sorry, I still care about him. I was trying to save you, but I wanted to save him too. I tried to convince him to stop what he was doing. I was unsuccessful, but I'm not giving up. I'm sorry I can't hate him. I really do care about you. It's just complicated. Gaara's expression softened with a hint of compassion. You have nothing to apologize for. You are treating Gaara the way you have always treated me. Who am I to enjoy your kindness and deny it to others? I bit my lip and looked away. It's more than that. The way I feel for him. Well, Gaara placed a comforting hand on my arm. It's alright. I trust your emotions not to get in the way of your judgment. You will act in the best interests of everyone. A wave of relief passed through me. Thank you, Gaara. You are a great friend, and I really am glad you're alright. I leaned into him and hugged him from the side. He tensed up before relaxing and hugging me back. It seemed he was still not used to physical affection. I'm glad you're alright too. You mean a lot to me. Quote. After a while, I pulled back from him and gave him a soft smile. I suppose I should go. You could stay if you wanted to. Gaara has something in his eyes that made me a tad concerned. Is everything alright? Do you not want to be alone? Gaara nodded. I cannot remember a time I was ever truly alone. Shukaku was always there. I should be grateful he's gone, but. I gently touched his hand. It's alright. I understand. It's different, and it will take some getting used to. I gave him a soft smile. I'll stay with you, Gaara. Gaara smiled gratefully at me. Thank you. We got into bed together. The situation might have seemed more than it was to an outsider, but we were both comfortable with it 'cause we knew where we stood with each other. We fell asleep laying next to each other. It was a very peaceful night. So, that's Granny Chio's grave, Sakura said sadly. It was the following morning, and Team Kakashi and Team Guy were gathered around Chio's grave with Gaara to see us off. Chio. Gaara murmured. She said she didn't want a grave, but I thought it would be better to have one. I felt that everyone needed a place to gather. I nodded. Good idea. Everybody, say your farewells, said Kakashi. We all took a moment to pray over Chio's grave. Then as was time to depart. I watched as Gaara and Naruto looked at each other, appearing awkward and uncertain. Naruto rubbed the back of his neck. Yeah, he said. Normally. I suppose people shake hands and say goodbye, but I'm not really good with that kind of stuff, so I'll just leave it at this. Gaara nodded. I chuckled lightly at their interaction. I could not blame either of them for not being the most socially conscious. I smiled as I approached Gaara. Goodbye, Gaara. I'll see you later. Then I gave him a hug. Gaara hugged me back gently. Goodbye, Katsumi. Take care. I saw him smile as I parted from him. Finally, I left with my comrades, feeling quite accomplished. Everything may not have been resolved, but this was a huge step in the right direction. And Gaara was safe. The trip back to the Leaf Village seemed shorter than the hike to the Sand Village, but I knew that was an illusion. It did not take long for Sakura and Tenten to walk with me, separating us slightly from the others so we could talk alone. I had a feeling I knew where this was going. So, Tenten said casually, what's the deal with you and that Akatsuki? The one you stopped us from attacking. You were friends when you were living with the Akatsuki, right? Sakura said in a gentle tone. I nodded. Deidara and I formed a strong bond. We're good friends. Quote. Tenten looked at me with uncertainty. Are you sure you're just friends? I looked away while we walked. I had dedicated myself to the truth, and I could not lie, but I could evade the question. Does it matter? There are two others in the Akatsuki I have different relationships with, but I would act the same with them. I'm not suggesting you would let your feelings get in the way with your judgment. I'm just curious. That's why you didn't want to fall in love, right? Sakura said. You were worried your emotions would take over you, but that hasn't happened at all. I find no fault with your actions. Quote. I looked at her in surprise. Really? I thought you acted well too, Tenten said. It's just. That must be a tough situation, being in love with someone you can't have. My expression softened, and I nodded. It seemed these two were allies. They understood my troubles. Yes, but what's even more difficult is seeing him make bad choices and not being able to make better ones. That goes for my other friends in the Akatsuki too. I'm not going to give up, though. I'll find a way to get Deidara on the right. I'll save him. And the others too. Sakura smiled. Of course you will. And Naruto will help you. I smiled slightly in return. Yeah, right. After how everything played out, I was not so sure anymore. I tried to tell myself that this was a unique case and Naruto would be more understanding next time. Still, I could not help but worry. Despite this, I was determined to save Deidara with or without Naruto's help. We finally arrived at the Leaf Village. Guy and Lee, with the former carrying Kakashi on his back, ran most of the way to see who could get there first. Guy claimed he was first and Kakashi was second, leaving Lee at third. This caused Lee to tear up. I rolled my eyes at their antics. We immediately started for the hospital to take care of Kakashi since he still could not move after using his Mangekyo Sharingan. Oh, he's awake. Naruto once Kakashi stirred from his bed. It was later in the day, and my team decided to wait by Kakashi's hospital bed to make sure he was fine. So, I'm back here again, Kakashi muttered. Good job, Kakashi, Tsunade said, appearing by the door with Shizune. Master, Sakura said in surprise. Lady Tsunade, Kakashi said and tried to stand up. No, Kakashi-sensei. Sakura gently pushed him back down. Don't push yourself. I examined you earlier, but you need to be in bed for a week, Tsunade said. It will take a few more days until you can return to duty. Kakashi sighed. I guess that's how it goes. Quote, seems it will still take a while until you can master the new Sharingan. Yes. Just rest. Try not to push yourself for a while. Team Guy should rest today too. You can turn in the report later. Let's go, Shizune. Tsunade turned to leave. Yes, Shizune said, walking out the door after her. Oh, Sakura said. Master. Tsunade stopped for her. Sakura turned to me. You should come too, Katsumi. Quote, I shrugged. Alright. I knew she probably wanted to talk to Tsunade about something that happened on the mission, but why didn't she want to speak in front of Naruto and Kakashi? I pushed my curiosity away as I followed Sakura, Tsunade, and Shizune to the hospital balcony. Is it regarding that matter? Tsunade said to Sakura as soon as we were alone. Yes, said Sakura. Did you tell Kakashi? Since Kakashi-sensei has been like that all this time, I haven't yet. How about Naruto? Quote, you haven't even told me yet, I said, still immensely curious about what was going on. Sakura glanced at me before turning back to Tsunade. I thought I should first consult you. Give me the details, Tsunade said. It's what I heard from the Akatsuki member, Sasori. He said it was a reward for beating him. He said, in 10 days, go to the Tenchi Bridge located in the village hidden in the grass at high noon. He has a spy working as one of Orochimaru's subordinates and was supposed to rendezvous with him there. Quote, my eyebrows rose. Orochimaru. I knew what that meant. We could find Sasuke. Tenchi Bridge, huh, Tsunade mused. 4 days has passed, so it will be in 6 days. Can you trust your source? Considering the situation, it's safe to say we can trust it. Sakura turned to me. I would like your opinion though. I thought about it for a moment. Kiku said Sasori just surrendered and left. How did that happen? Quote, Sakura nodded. That's right. I didn't do much except fight him. Kiku was the one who was talking to him. She might be able to tell you more. Can you summon her? Tsunade asked me. I nodded. Sure thing. I quickly performed the summoning jutsu, and Kiku appeared, stretching out before me. Hello, Katsumi, she said brightly. She looked around at the others. Sakura. Lady Tsunade. Shizune. What can I do for you? Quote, is Deidara alright? I asked her. He's fine. Don't worry. Did you follow him back to the Akatsuki hideout? Tsunade asked. Kiku shook her head. No, he couldn't allow that. I stayed with him until he met up with Toby. Quote, Toby. Someone who's with the Akatsuki but not an official member, I explained. I wondered what he thought about the entire situation with Deidara. He had wanted me to give up. He said he's a member now, Kiku said. He claims he's Deidara's new partner since Sasori ran off. Sakura and I exchanged a look. So, he doesn't think he's coming back. Doesn't seem like it. And I don't think he is either. He seemed pretty determined to start a new life away from it all. Quote, what did you say to him? Kiku sat down and scratched her ear. Not much. I just built off of what you already said. His grandma may have had a part in it too. She shrugged. He seemed tired of this life and wanted something better. Quote, that does not mean he is not still a threat to us, said Tsunade. However, if he has betrayed the Akatsuki, they will likely hunt him down. We can assume he will lay low for a while. Then he likely told me the truth, said Sakura. Perhaps, but what would you do if it were a trap? There is a possibility that Orochimaru is just bait, and the Akatsuki will be waiting there. This may have been arranged beforehand. Sakura looked determined. If it is a trap, I'll fight with all my might. Fight. Kakashi will be in bed for more than a week, but we only have 6 days left. For that matter, ever since Sasuke left, Team Kakashi has been short on staff. Quote, but most ninja squads have 4 members like us. Tsunade glanced at me before looking back at Sakura. Katsumi's special circumstances require an additional ninja. Oh, we can only add another member and create a new team. Quote, Lady Tsunade, Shizune said. Tsunade turned to her. What is it? Then, you should send a different unit to investigate the situation. Even if you let Sakura and Katsumi go, you should leave out Naruto. Quote, Tsunade's eyes narrowed. Shizune straightened up. Yes. Like you, Sakura is one of the few ninja whom I can trust from the bottom of my heart. I will definitely let Team Kakashi go, mostly because Sakura is on it. Quote, wouldn't it be the same if my team went? It's not the same. Sakura, Katsumi, and Naruto are both desperately trying to seek out Sasuke, their former teammate. They wish to save Sasuke more than anyone. That strong desire will lead the mission to success. Shizune still appeared worried. You and Sakura are different, I understand, but, for this mission, Naruto should. Tsunade gave her a harsh look. Now that he's heard this, what would Naruto say? Suddenly, Naruto jumped down from the room, and said, let's search for our new team member immediately. Later. Then he dashed off. Tsunade groaned. Sheesh, that impatient brat, I wasn't done talking yet. Quote, I laughed. That's Naruto for you. Shizune stepped towards Tsunade. Won't you reconsider this one more time? Tsunade looked at her. Reconsider what? The issue regarding Naruto. It's too risky to allow Naruto to take part in this mission. If something were to happen. Tsunade's expression hardened. Don't make me say it again. Team Kakashi, with Naruto, Katsumi, and Sakura, will handle this mission. I've explained my reasoning. Shizune winced. I understand that, but it's not really Team Kakashi, because he can't even go with them. The situation is different from when we dispatched them to the hidden sand. That's true, said Sakura, appearing worried. In the previous mission, the enemy was clearly after Naruto. We were able to prevent that because we had Kakashi-sensei with us, who knows Naruto very well. But we won't have Kakashi-sensei on this mission. It's understandable that Shizune would be concerned. That's not what I'm worried about, I said. It seems to me that the Akatsuki is going to chase the Jinchuriki in order, starting with the one tail. Itachi had ulterior motives for going after Naruto that one time. Naruto is his target anyway. Deidara also had ulterior motives for what he did. No one else is as impulsive as him, so Naruto should be fine. I paused. But going after Orochimaru is sure to make Naruto emotional. If he loses control again. I bit my lip and looked away. Don't worry, you too, Tsunade said. Those points have been taken under consideration. I'll find 2 members to fill in the holes left by Kakashi and Sasuke. Make sure to tell Naruto as well. I nodded, feeling relieved. Sounds good. I barely had enough time to go home and wash up after the mission. Luckily, my family members were all out. Soon, I found Sakura and Naruto at the spot where Tsunade told us to meet. I was curious about who our new team members would be. Kiku chose to come along and sat at my feet. Naruto seemed excited about the whole thing. Nobody's here yet, Naruto said. Did Granny Tsunade really arrange new members for us? Yep, I said. Be patient, said Kiku. It'll be okay, said Sakura. We just got here a little too early, that's all. We've still got a little bit before the meeting time. I hope they don't turn out to have the habit of showing up late like Kakashi-sensei, said Naruto. Hi, said a boy our age as he approached us. He was smiling, but something seemed off about it. Kiku sniffed him curiously. Hey, Naruto cried, sounding outraged. It's you. You're the guy who was up on the roof earlier. Sakura and I exchanged a confused look. Then another man, this one a jonin seeming around the age of Kakashi, appeared before us. As of now I will be taking Kakashi's place in Team Kakashi, he said, and, he paused as he noticed Naruto glowering at the other newcomer. This is going to be a nasty mission. Naruto, do you know him? Said Sakura. He's the guy who attacked me earlier when I was with Shikamaru and the others. Naruto shouted. I blinked. What are you talking about? Quote. Stop it, Naruto. Sakura snapped. Naruto turned to the older man. Come to think of it, who are you, mister? Oh, could it be the other new member of our team? I said. The man nodded. I'm the replacement captain for this team while Kakashi is in the hospital. Call me Yamato. Captain Yamato. Your comrades on the same team, so you guys need to get along. See, comrade, Naruto said with wide eyes, looking at the other boy. This guy, sorry about before, the boy said with that same smile. I noticed Kiku sniff him suspiciously. Since we're going to be teammates from now on, I just wanted to find out how strong you were. You didn't have to go through the trouble of doing that. But thanks to that, I now know you're a worthless guy with questionable equipment. Quote. Naruto became enraged. Hey, what did you say? We're going to be teammates. Damn you. He tried to strike the boy, but Sakura held him back. Don't start fighting right at the start. She snapped. Some things are inexcusable. Sakura let go of Naruto and turned to the boy. But you're kind of a rotten guy, aren't you? Is that so? Said the boy. People won't like you if you say stuff like that. Quote. I like nice ugly women like you. Sakura glared at him. Hey, what did you say? Try repeating that, you twerp. She attempted to pounce at him but was stopped by Yamato. He's not great at talking to others, is he? I said quietly to Kiku. The cat shook her head. I'm better at talking to humans. What's up with this? Yamato said. I don't have time to put you all in a cage to get used to each other. Come on, introduce yourselves. Quote. Naruto crossed his arms. Naruto Uzumaki. I'm Sakura Haruno, said Sakura. My name's Sai, said the new guy. I'm Katsumi Nishioki, I said. This is Kiku. Well, that's enough getting acquainted for now, Yamato said. I will now explain our mission as Team Kakashi. The four of us will now head for the Tenchi Bridge, capture the Akatsuki spy who has infiltrated Orochimaru's organization and bring him back here. It's an opportunity for us to get information on Orochimaru and Sasuke Uchiha. We will obtain a precious source of information with which we can draw up plans for both the assassination of Orochimaru and the retrieval of Sasuke. Be sure to proceed with caution. We all agreed with this. We'll meet at the main gate in an hour. We'll leave once you've equipped yourselves with your ninja tools. I left for my house with Kiku. Once we were far enough away from the others, I began to speak to her in a low voice. What do you think about the new guys? Yamato seems alright, Kiku said. Sigh. Though, she paused and then shook her head. I couldn't get a good read on him. He reminds me of Itachi and Sasori. He hides his emotions well. Quote. I nodded. Do you think he's intentionally suppressing his emotions like Itachi or unintentionally repressing them like Sasori? Kiku shrugged. Beats me. Just keep an eye on him. Will do. I dismissed the cat and focused on getting ready for the mission. It did not take too long. Soon, I was outside Tsunade's office. I did not know if she would listen to me, but I figured I might as well give her my concerns. I entered when I was granted permission. She did not look too surprised to see me. Katsumi, she said, what can I do for you? I rubbed the back of my neck. It's about Sai, the ninja you assigned to our team. There's something off about him. Kiku agrees. Tsunade still did not appear surprised. I had a feeling you would say that. My eyebrows rose. Really? He is affiliated with an organization that supposedly disbanded. I can say I share your concerns. Then why did you assign him to our team? Quote. Tsunade gave me a serious look. I had little choice in the matter. I frowned. What do you mean? You're the Hokage. Don't you have the final say? Tsunade's expression tightened. Yes, that is technically true, but there are political complications that must be taken into account. I cannot go into detail. I hope you understand. My eyes narrowed slightly. I remembered Itachi telling me something about that before. There were things about the village that I did not understand. I wanted to know more, but I did not think this was the time to press it. Yeah, I get it. Good. May I ask you to please try to get along with Sai? You can be wary of him, but do not forget your objective. Of course, but I don't think I'm the one you should be telling that to. Naruto already has a problem with him. I guess they got in a fight. Tsunade sighed. I was afraid of that. Would you mind helping Naruto keep calm? I nodded. I knew she was asking this for more than just Sai's sake. I'll do my best. I paused, hesitating. Do you really think he'll be fine without Kakashi? Tsunade gave me a small smile. Do not worry about that. Actually, you may be able to provide valuable input at the meeting I'm about to have. Would you mind joining me? I smiled back at her. Sure. No problem. I was glad she trusted me enough to involve me in something like this. Plus, if this was about Naruto, I wanted to do everything I could to help. With that, we set off. Tsunade and I met up with Yamato, and then we headed to the hospital to visit Kakashi. My heart raced as I wondered what this was about. We're coming in, Kakashi, Tsunade said after knocking on the door. Please come in, said Kakashi's voice. We entered the room to see him laying in bed with Jiraiya standing beside him. It's been a long time, Senpai. Yamato said. I looked between them curiously. They knew each other. I see, said Kakashi. So you're the one called Yamato, huh? I get it. Yes. As of today, I will be known as Yamato while I work as the substitute captain of Team Kakashi. Kakashi appeared thoughtful. Yamato, huh? I brought him here because there are some things I'd really like him to know since he'll be working as the captain of Team Kakashi, said Tsunade. And that is the biggest reason why he was chosen as Kakashi's replacement. Quote, is this about Naruto? Yes, but first I would like to talk about Katsumi. My heart skipped a beat. Me. Katsumi has experience with the Akatsuki, and as you may run into them on this mission, I thought you should speak with her. Yamato looked at me with an unreadable expression. Yes, I heard about your kidnapping. I'm glad you're alright. I smiled weakly. Thanks. Go ahead and give him a brief summary of what happened, Kakashi said. It's alright. I took a deep breath. I did not know if I could trust Yamato, but if Kakashi thought he was fine, then I would give him a chance. I launched into the story, making sure not to give too much details, especially about my relationships with certain Akatsuki members. And what about your most recent mission? Yamato said when I finished. You ran into the Akatsuki, correct? I nodded. Yes. We ran into Deidara and Sasori. I knew both of them beforehand. Lady Tsunade gave me permission to ask them to back off, so that's what I did. The encounter ended without any deaths, so it worked somewhat. And Sasori ran off, claiming he no longer wanted to be a part of the Akatsuki. I almost got through to Deidara, but I had to let him go. I see. You are aware that ninja are not supposed to be concerned about the enemy, correct? I did not flinch under his intense gaze. I never wanted to be a ninja. It was forced on me. So, if I'm going to do this job, I'm going to do it my way. Besides, I got permission for everything I did beforehand. True, said Tsunade. Katsumi has a different way of doing things that could be beneficial. I am fine with giving her some freedom as long as she does not put others in danger. I trust her. Yamato dipped his head. Then I do as well. I gave him a small smile as relief flooded me. Then I'm fine with working under you. Now on to Naruto, Jiraiya said. Tsunade turned back to Yamato. You know that Naruto has the nine-tailed fox spirit sealed inside him, right? Yes, I do, said Yamato. Sometimes the nine-tailed chakra leaks out from inside Naruto's body and takes the form of the fox spirit, Kakashi said. We call it the Nine Tails Cloak. The Nine Tails Cloak, huh? Yamato said with surprise. Does it happen often? It happened on our previous mission. When his emotions intensified, the nine-tailed chakra started to leak out. It engulfed his body and became the Nine Tails Cloak. Just before the second tail formed, Katsumi somehow managed to suppress the chakra with the tag I received from Master Jiraiya, but who knows what would have happened if things had been left as they were. Quote, I see. Jiraiya appeared grim. So, it appeared just as I thought. Judging from the shape of the chakra, the number of tails will probably continue to grow and eventually there will be 9. That's about the size of it. Master Jiraiya, how many tails have you seen? Jiraiya removed his shirt. I held in a gasp as I saw the marks from a previous injury. I've come close to dying twice in my lifetime. The first time, I broke 6 ribs in both arms, and several of my internal organs ruptured. It was when I was trying to peek into the women's bath at a hot spring and you pounded me good, Tsunade. At this, Tsunade rolled her eyes. The other time was during Naruto's training when I saw the 4th tail of the 9-tailed chakra. He pointed to the scar on his torso. I swallowed hard. Naruto did that. It's his intense emotions that triggers it, isn't it? I said softly. Jiraiya looked at me and nodded. Especially anger. You have a calming effect on him, Katsumi. I trust you can help suppress his power. I curled my hands into fists as frustration seeped into my body. But I couldn't do much last time. Instead of trying to suppress it, why don't you help Naruto control that power? Quote, Jiraiya gave me a grave look. He is not ready. And when will he be ready? If it was up to all of you, he wouldn't even know about the 9 tails. He could have died on our last mission. If you don't teach him about this chakra, he'll unintentionally release his powers. Then what do you think what will happen? That is what we're trying to prevent, Tsunade said. Yeah, well, you're not doing a good enough. Everyone around here is too steeped in the past. This isn't working anymore. You need to figure something else out. My anger rose, so I stormed out of the hospital before I could do or say something that I would regret. Once outside, I leaned against the wall of the building, closed my eyes, and took a deep breath. Katsumi. I opened my eyes to see Jiraiya standing before me with an unreadable look. What? I tried not to sound too harsh. You know I care about Naruto, right? I am on your side. I looked away. Then why don't you do more to help him? Jiraiya's face softened ever so slightly. It is complicated. Believe me, I am working on it. Change is never easy or quick, but I do agree that changes need to be made. I need to ask you to trust me, alright? I let out a heavy sigh. Perhaps I was letting my frustrations out too much. I suppose. Jiraiya offered me a small smile. It is very brave of you to stand up for your friends even when others would have abandoned them. Keep following you ninja way. I smiled slightly in return. I will. Thanks. Jiraiya nodded. You better get going. Your mission will start soon. I agreed and set off. I arrived at the gate just in time to meet up with everyone. I stood next to Naruto, who was glaring at Sai. I gently touched his arm to help calm him. Keeping him from becoming too angry might be a bit difficult. I hoped Sakura would help me. Okay, said Yamato. Team Kakashi will now set out. With that, we headed off. It did not take long for Naruto to begin arguing with Sai. Naruto refused to accept Sai as a member of our team, stating he was only a stand-in for Sasuke even though he was nothing like him. Sai seemed pleased by this and proceeded to insult Sasuke. Sakura and I both tried hard to break them apart. Or, at least, I thought Sakura was helping me. After she smiled at Sai, he let his guard down, and she then punched him in the face. This isn't going well, I muttered, shaking my head. You tricked me good with your fake smile earlier, and here you don't even know anything about Sasuke, Sakura said to Sai with anger. Don't you ever speak ill about him. If you insult Sasuke again, I won't hold back. Sai did not appear fazed. Indeed, he continued to smile. Fine, I won't say anything like that in front of you again. So, that's another way of using a fake smile, huh? I'll remember that. Sakura appeared confused. How can you grin like that after getting punched? A smile is the best way to get through a tough situation. Even if it's a fake smile. Surprisingly enough, everyone gets fooled. That's what it said in the book. It seems it doesn't really work if I do it, though. You jerk. Naruto cried. I narrowed my eyes at Sai. Now I had had enough as well. You can't do that. You shouldn't lie like that. If you're not feeling it, then don't show it. Be truthful with yourself and others. Four-pillar prison jutsu. Yamato said. Huh, I said in surprise when a wooden cage sprang up from the ground, surrounding my teammates and me. I have never seen anyone use jutsu like this. My eyes were on Yamato as he walked up to us. I'll really toss you guys into this cell if you keep fighting. We don't have much time until we get to the Tenchi Bridge. That being said, we've still got enough time to take a little detour. As your peacemaker, I offer you this suggestion. In order to improve your rapport, I can toss you guys into this cell for a full day, or we can stay at a hot spring inn for a night. Which would you prefer? You guys probably don't really know me all that well. I prefer the kind and gentle approach, but I'm not against controlling you by fear either. I exchanged a look with the others. I could tell that Yamato meant business. I'll go with the hot springs. Everyone else agreed. So, our leader released us and led the way to the inn. Soon, we made it to the hot springs. Sakura and I entered on the women's side. I sighed in pleasure as soon as my body entered the hot water. Wow, this is amazing, I said, sinking lower into the water. I could get used to this. Do they have hot springs in your world? Sakura asked curiously. They do, but not anywhere near where I live, so I have never been to any. Suddenly, we heard someone shouting from the other side of the wall, "Don't be looking." Naruto, said Sakura. Yep, that's him, I said. I sighed, probably arguing with Sai. Shut up with all that talk about my equipment. Naruto exclaimed. This angers Sakura, and she shouted back, for crying out loud, Naruto, you're talking too loud. You jerk. I snickered. It's not funny. I shrugged. I think it is. After that, Naruto calmed down, and Sakura and I enjoyed the rest of our bath. A little while later, we returned to the inn and were met with a magnificent feast. I was surprised that Yamato was going all out for us. Perhaps he was not so bad. The others agreed. Now then, normally after dinner, I'd want to have a meeting regarding the mission, Yamato said after we had our fill, but the reason why we're staying here is for improvement of your rapport. Let's forget about the serious stuff for now. Now you're talking, Captain Yamato, Naruto said with a grin. Instead, we'll definitely have a meeting tomorrow. Could it be we're going to stay at a hot springs inn tomorrow, too? Sakura said hopefully. Yamato rubbed the back of his neck. No, cut me some slack on that one. My wallet won't make it. Then could it be that you're paying for this place out of your own pocket, Captain Yamato? Quote, yes. Awesome, said Naruto. You're sure generous, said Sakura. Thank you, I said. Everyone seemed in a better mood, which was probably the point. Soon, we all headed off to bed. I shared a room with Sakura. I was exhausted with the day's events, so I fell asleep right away. I slept fairly well. When I woke up, I noticed Sakura staring out the window. What's going on? I said groggily. It's Sai, Sakura replied without looking at me. I think we should check on him. Yeah, alright. Tsunade had said she did not trust Sai. We had to make sure he was not up to no good. We quickly got dressed and headed outside. We were both surprised to find that our new teammate was innocently drawing. Wow, said Sakura. So, you draw. Sai looked up at us. Is there something you want? You're foul-mouthed, but you've also got a sensitive side, huh? That's a surprise. Sakura frowned when he smiled again. That fake smile. It is odd, I whispered to her. So, you're still not through hitting me, huh? Sai to Sakura with the same smile. Not quite, Sakura said with an angry look. Then she laughed. I'm kidding. I just came to check out your picture. I was wondering what you were drawing. Yeah, we were curious, I said. Sai showed us the drawing, but there was nothing discernible in it. I see. At first, I thought you were drawing a landscape since you're drawing out here, but it's an abstract, huh? What's the title of this drawing? Sai stared at her blankly. You haven't decided on one yet. He said nothing. You don't know. Maybe he doesn't understand. The name of this drawing, a title. You've got something in mind, don't you? I won't laugh, so tell me. I've got nothing like that, said Sai. I've drawn tens of thousands of pictures, but I've never given one a title. So, this doesn't have one, either. Sakura appeared surprised. Really? But you're supposed to give a title to a picture, right? She turned to me for confirmation. I shrugged. I usually just name mine after the animals I draw. Quote. Sakura nodded. If it's a portrait, you give it the name of the person, or with other pictures, you use the situation, your feelings or emotions at the time. To be exact, I could entitle one of my drawings even if I wanted to, said Sai. Nothing comes to mind. I don't feel anything. Nothing. I stared at him blankly. What? You draw without feeling anything? That's right. No wonder you can only say such callous things. Sakura muttered. You're no artist. I scowled. Art is all about expressing your emotions. Otherwise, what's the point? Sai looked at me. I don't understand. Wouldn't emotions get in the way? I sighed. No. Listen. Art is about. It's about time for us to leave. Naruto shouted as he walked up to us. Captain Yamato told me to come get you. Right, said Sakura. Naruto looked down at Sai's drawing with a frown. This drawing's nothing special. Quote. You're right, said Sai. Just like your equipment. I rolled my eyes. Cut it out, you guys. Not wanting to hear any more of that argument, I left without another word. Once we were all together, we continued on our journey. We took a detour through a forest to avoid traps. Then Yamato created a wood house where we spent the night after formulating a plan for capturing the spy. In the morning, we were given a mock test to see how well we worked together. Naruto was paired with Sai, and I was with Sakura. Sakura and I did well together, but Sai left Naruto after Naruto made a mistake. This made Naruto angry, of course, and I was pretty mad as well. It isn't ideal to fight while protecting someone who has lost his cool, Sai explained. All I did was consider the best way to successfully complete the mission, make a judgment, and take action. Naruto crossed his arms and glared at him. I won't acknowledge you. I'll never acknowledge the likes of you as a comrade or as a member of Team Kakashi. Quote. I guess these two just won't work as a team, huh? Yamato said with a sigh. Not anytime soon, I muttered. I wonder what Sasuke would have done, Sai said. Would he have fought while protecting you? He's a Team Kakashi comrade to you, right? Naruto won't be able to put up with this any longer, Sakura said quietly. I nodded in agreement. If you call someone who betrayed his village and hurt you a comrade, that is. Quote. Naruto, Yamato said firmly when Naruto clenched his fists. This is not good, said Sakura. After a moment, Naruto relaxed his stance. If it's to save that comrade, then I'll do whatever it takes. I'll even team up with you. Naruto, Yamato said again. Sai looked from me to Sakura. Why does he feel so strongly about Sasuke? It's because Naruto thinks of Sasuke like a brother, Sakura replied. You've got a brother, too, don't you? You should understand a little about how he feels. Sai's expression remained unchanged. No, not at all. I told you about titles for my drawings, right? I have no such thing as emotions. Quote. Sakura and I exchanged a shocked look. What do you mean you don't feel anything or have any emotions? I mean just what I said. Sakura frowned. Even so, if you have a brother, you should be able to imagine what it would be like to lose him, right? Quote. Sai tilted his head. Yeah, well you could say that. My brother's dead, after all. Sakura's eyes widened in surprise. Then all the more. Sai glanced at Naruto. I wonder if I should have looked like that. Quote. Naruto glared at him. What are you trying to say? Well, I didn't know what kind of look to make when my brother died. Look to make. Sakura said in confusion. This guy, Naruto muttered. I studied Sai carefully. You mean, You don't feel emotions, so you try to mimic them so people think you do. That's right, said Sai. I shook my head. I don't get it. All humans have emotions. Did you repress them or something? Quote, yes, something like that. It was a part of my training. My eyes narrowed in suspicion. I see. I understood why Tsunade was suspicious of him and the organization he came from. I would have to keep an eye on him. And perhaps I could learn important information about this Anbu route if I stayed close. I don't sense the presence of anyone around the Tenchi Bridge, Sai said after the mice he drew came back after assessing the situation. I guess that means there won't be any Akatsuki ambush, huh? I don't feel anything either, I said. I took in a deep breath. It was time to begin our mission. All right, said Yamato. Then let's proceed as planned. Quote, right, said Naruto. Yamato held up a picture of Sasori. Naruto, could you take this and hold it towards me? Naruto took the photo and held it up. All right, that's good. Hold it towards me. Wood style. Transformation. Suddenly, Yamato transformed into Sasori. So, did it turn out okay? Yes, it did, Sakura said excitedly. You look like Sasori's puppet Hirako in every way. Yep, I said. You're good. Now I want to adjust the voice. Let me know when it sounds right. Yamato started to change his voice until Sakura said he got it right. Then we're going to start the operation, okay? Your tone is too polite, said Sakura. You need to sound more violent or surly or something. Quote, oh, that's right. I'm irritable, and hate waiting and being kept waiting. I snickered. Perfect. Okay. We're starting the operation. Right, said Naruto. That's what he was like. Sakura said brightly. Okay. Our opponents should be on the alert, said Yamato. We'll split up now. Observe teamwork at all times. Especially you, Naruto. Don't be jumping out before I give the signal. Let's go. Then Yamato set off for the bridge. Okay. Time to go, Sakura said. The rest of us found a spot to hide behind a rock where we would not be detected due to the wind. We waited there for a long time. Finally, Sasori's spy arrived. I was surprised to see that it was Kabuto. This had gotten interesting. Kabuto and Yamato talked for several minutes. Then Yamato moved to grab something from his cloak. My breath caught in my throat when Orochimaru arrived. I felt Naruto tense beside me. Kabuto evaded an attack from Orochimaru and joined Yamato. Suddenly, Kabuto jabbed Yamato with something, breaking the Hirako puppet. Orochimaru attacked him as well, but he managed to defend himself. During a moment of reprieve, Yamato signaled to us to join him on the bridge, so we quickly ran over. R to him. Discover more. Website hosting services. Books and literature. Books. You again, huh? Kabuto said, glancing at Sakura. I've seen that face often. And it looks like the Nine-Tails kid is here, too, said Orochimaru. Maybe I'll play with you guys a little. Let's see who's become stronger, you or Sasuke. Give Sasuke back, Naruto shouted. I let out a small gasp as I felt the Nine-Tails chakra growing inside him. His eyes were already red from it. Then I saw him grow a tail. Give him back, is not the correct way of saying it, Naruto. Your reasoning is off. Sasuke came to us because he wanted to. For a man, you're too obsessed about the past, said Kabuto. You need to resign yourself. Shut up, Four Eyes. Sakura snapped. You don't even know how Naruto feels. Stop acting so cold about everything. If you want to know about Sasuke, try forcing it out of me, said Orochimaru. If you can, that is. I gasped when I saw a second tail grow out of Naruto. He rushed at Orochimaru with superhuman speed and punched him in the face, sending him flying several yards away. Orochimaru appeared relatively unharmed as he walked back onto the bridge. You're starting to become more like a Jinchuriki host, aren't you, Naruto? He said. He glanced at Yamato. I get it. So, that's why you were chosen to keep watch over him, huh? So, my experiment turned out to be somewhat useful. The leaf should be thanking me a little more for this, my adorable little test subject. Test subject, said Kabuto. Who the heck is this person? It happened a long time ago when I was still in the Hidden Leaf Village. I wanted the power of the first Hokage, the only one among all shinobi who could use the wood-style ninjutsu and control tailed beasts at will. I once conducted an experiment where I took some DNA information from the remains of the first Hokage and implanted genetic components from that DNA into T.H.E. cells of 60 children. But their bodies violently rejected it, and they died while kicking and struggling. Around the time when I was about to give up, I ended up being tracked by another one of my experiments and had to leave the village, leaving my laboratory just as it was. I thought all the test subjects had died, but I never thought one of them would still be alive. I get it, Sakura murmured. So, that's why he can use the wood style that only the first Hokage could use. Quote, interesting, I said. So, that's the story, said Orochimaru. I see, said Kabuto. So, it looks like we'll now be able to obtain a sample from a product of old research. More important than that, I'd like to test out how strong my Sasuke has become by having him fight against Naruto. Quote, Naruto glowered at him. He doesn't belong to you. Don't talk about Sasuke in front of me like he belongs to you. Suddenly, he grew a third tail, creating an intense chakra that all of us could feel. I sucked in a sharp breath. It felt like I was burning. Naruto, you have to calm down, I said. I tried to reach out to him, but he jerked away from me. A chakra vortex started to form above him. I watched him prepare to attack Orochimaru. Kabuto attempted to sneak up on Naruto from behind, but Naruto noticed him and roared at him. Kabuto flew back and hit Sakura, knocking her out. Eventually, he crashed into a tree in the woods. The bridge started to collapse from the force of the attack. Yamato, Sai, and I leapt to the edge of the cliff. I looked over just in time to see Naruto chasing after Orochimaru on the other side of the chasm. Sai used his jutsu to draw a large bird, which he promptly mounted and took off for the other side of the bridge. Just then, Sakura started to fall off the bridge, but he ignored her and kept going. I shot Sai a glare before I leapt down to catch Sakura. I managed to drag her back up into the grass and laid her down beside Yamato. Nice work, said Yamato. I narrowed my eyes as I stared across the bridge. How are we going to get over there? We don't. I looked at him anxiously. But Naruto, it's too dangerous. I will create a wood clone to look for him. Quote, I turned away and grumbled to myself. Fine. We stood there, waiting anxiously. Eventually, Sakura woke up. Captain Yamato, you know something about Naruto, don't you? She said softly. What in the world happened to Naruto? Quote, Sakura, you don't need to worry, said Yamato. It is for that very reason and for times like this that I was chosen by my superiors as team captain. It seems Sasori won't be coming here, now is he? Said a new voice. I tensed and faced Kabuto. You. Kabuto ignored me and continued. The only person who was supposed to know that I was coming here today was Sasori. Not even the other Akatsuki members were privy to that information. But despite that, you Leaf guys are here. It would be hard to believe that Sasori would confess under torture, which means that he gave out the information of his own volition. Perhaps he wanted to help us. Quote, Kabuto tilted his head to the side. Perhaps. Most likely, his intention was for you to get information about Orochimaru out of me and then have the Leaf Village dispose of him. Because Orochimaru has proven to be too tough a customer for the Akatsuki guys, too. He turned to Yamato. Your disguise earlier on was perfect. Unless one of you has met directly with Sasori, it wouldn't have evolved that way. Most likely, Sasori gave you the information about today at that time. Quote, you're pretty sharp. Of course, it was probably based on the assumption that the jutsu placed on me was still in effect. The fact that Sasori would go out of his way to do that means that he's acknowledged your strength. Sasori holds a grudge against Orochimaru. He was always saying that he wanted to personally execute Orochimaru, but to act against his own will and send you guys here means that he is already in a situation in which he is unable to do that. In other words, he has either been captured, or he is already dead. It looked like Sakura was about to reply, but I held up a hand to stop her. Unfortunately, it's the latter. Kabuto does not deserve to know the truth. It is his fault for not realizing there is a third option. Kabuto's face broke out into a grin. That's delightful. I glared at him. You're horrible. Kabuto appeared amused. Oh, was he a friend of yours? Feel free to take it out on me. I want to see what you've got. He took up a fighting stance. Be careful, Katsumi, said Yamato. I nodded. I can handle him. I proceeded to face off against Kabuto. I attacked him with my lightning jutsu, but he blocked everything I threw at him. Eventually, it was all I could do to defend myself against him. We kept this up until a loud sound from the forest distracted us. A figure flew through the air and landed near us. I gasped as I recognized the chakra. Naruto. He had the appearance of a fox with 4 tails, and he was made up of blood and chakra. I swallowed hard. Oh no. He's gotten even closer to the 9-tail than earlier on, hasn't he? Said Kabuto. Take a look at that. It's no longer a battle of ninja, but a battle of monsters. Orochimaru appeared next, advancing on Naruto with a sword. It's useless to go on fighting with the snake sword, he said. What's the situation like? Sakura said anxiously. Is Naruto dead? I shook my head. He's just transformed. I watched as Naruto made to attack Orochimaru again. Look at that, said Kabuto. I wonder if he still wants to save Sasuke even in that state. By now, even his self-consciousness is gone. What a sad kid. Wait. Yamato cried when Sakura began walking towards Naruto. Sakura. Don't get close to Naruto in that state. Sakura ignored him and kept going. Naruto. That's enough. But Naruto ignored her. Naruto, it's enough. She stepped even closer, and he finally reacted. He swung his tail at her, flinging her away and causing deep wounds. I felt my heart lurch. No, I cried. I ran towards Naruto, ignoring Yamato's shouts. I felt the same strange sensation I did when facing against Gaara and Naruto when their demons tried to control them. I knew I could help my friend if I could get close enough to touch him. Naruto. Calm down. Naruto turned to me and tried to strike, but I jumped out of the way. I quickly moved behind him and then jumped onto his back. He roared and tried to shake me off, but I held on tightly. I took deep breaths and tried to emit a calming presence. His struggling ceased, though he did not change back. That's good, Yamato said. Now keep him still. He proceeded to erect chakra-suppressing wooden pillars to bind him. I jumped off of Naruto's back and moved away. Slowly, I felt the 9 tails chakra receding. I noticed that Orochimaru was gone. Kabuto was headed for Sakura, so Yamato bound him as well. I won't let you step in, Yamato said. You're rushing to conclusions, said Kabuto. I don't plan to fight you guys anymore. Actually, it's the opposite. Yamato eyed him suspiciously. What do you mean? Quote, we both have the same goal. The Akatsuki are in the way. If I let you live, I think you might just get rid of one more Akatsuki. Yamato released Kabuto, who knelt beside Sakura and started to heal her. He was silent for several minutes. The wounds are healing much slower than I expected, but I can't stay playing, volunteer, for long. Lord Orochimaru is also reaching his limit. He stood up and turned to leave. In exchange for helping you, please get rid of as many of the Akatsuki as you can. That said, that is your teammate. Take care of the rest. Then he was gone. I flinched when Naruto broke out of his restraints. Oh no. Hold on, said Yamato. He used a jutsu that slowly reverted Naruto back to normal. I winced as I saw how painful it was for both of them. Once it was finished, I let out a breath of relief. Is he all right now? Yamato nodded. He will be fine, though he's unconscious now. He's injured, Sakura said. She rushed past me and knelt beside Naruto. I slowly approached, watching as she used her medical ninjutsu to regenerate his burned skin. My heart ached for him, but I knew there was nothing I could do. Fortunately, Sakura was able to heal his wounds, and he regained consciousness. You're fine, I said with a small smile. Naruto. Sakura said in relief. What happened to me? Said Naruto. I was chasing that jerk Orochimaru, and then, what did I do after that? I glanced at Yamato. He doesn't remember, I said quietly. Yamato shook his head. Not after the fourth tail. Hey, Sakura, said Naruto. Huh, why are you crying, Sakura? Sakura wiped her eyes. I just got something in my eyes. Naruto's eyes narrowed. That acid tongue Sai said something abusive to you again, right? Like, you're ugly. Or, you're Herculean. That jerk. Sakura glared at him. Sai hasn't called me Herculean. Naruto's eyes widened. Really? Don't make up stuff, you jerk. I sighed and shook my head. I'm glad you're both feeling better. Now, does anyone know where Sai ran off to? Right now, Sai is traveling together with Orochimaru, said Yamato. Together with, said Sakura. What does that mean? Quote. My eyes narrowed. That traitor. All of you, follow me, said Yamato. So, we headed for the forest. The earth is still soft, Naruto observed. The bridge is busted and this place is in such an awful state. What the heck happened? Don't you remember? Said Sakura, and Naruto shook his head. I'll tell you, I said, stopping in my tracks. Katsumi, Yamato said in a warning tone, be careful. He needs to know the truth. Lying to him won't protect him forever. I can handle it, Naruto said with determination. Tell me the truth, Katsumi. I nodded. I took a deep breath and launched into the story. I explained how he had let the Nine Tails take over and cause massive destruction. I told him how I calmed him down a little and Yamato helped him get back to normal. His eyes grew wide as I spoke, and I saw a hint of fear in them. I did this, he said in amazement. Did I? Did I hurt anyone? Quote. You hurt Sakura, I said, but she'll be fine. Naruto looked at Sakura in horror. I'm sorry, Sakura. Sakura shook her head. It's alright. It wasn't your fault. I don't think that's entirely true, I said as my mind quickly analyzed the situation. You let the Nine Tails take over you, didn't you? You wanted its power to save Sasuke. You can't do that. You're only going to hurt yourself and everyone around you. We'll save Sasuke together, alright? You're strong enough on your own. You must resist the Nine Tails. Naruto shook his head. I'm sorry, Katsumi. You're right. But you should probably stay away from me. He started backing away, his eyes wide with fear. I don't want to hurt you. I grit my teeth in frustration. He was going to play this game now. I took a defiant step towards him. It's too late for that, Naruto. I know the dangers that come from being close to you, but I don't care. I've never cared. I willingly got close to you today despite the danger because I wanted to help you. I know you're worth it. You're my best friend, and together we can do anything. Naruto nodded with tears in his eyes. He allowed me to approach him and embrace him. Yeah, we can. I'm sorry. I'll do better next time. I smiled as I held him tightly. I know. And you'll always have your friends to support you. I breathed in deeply. Everything was all right now. Finally, I could relax.